Hi, and welcome to XR for Work. This is Rick, and I'm your host here at XR for Work. This is the show where we explore the immersive products, platforms, applications, and help you evaluate, make informed decisions in meeting your spatial computing needs for your professional and business life. And today we're talking about Wanda Spaces VR, and we have a special presentation for you today. The presentation includes a section of a demo interview that I was able to do with Arnaud Dresson, the CEO and founder at Wanda. And he's actually going to personally take us, the VR for Work faithful, through some elements of Wanda. And you just don't get a better demonstration than from the CEO himself. So with that, we're going to jump in. First of all, if you need to reach us, please email us at xr4work@gmail.com. Stop by our Facebook group, XR for Work, and follow us on Twitter, XR for Work. And then on LinkedIn, you can follow us, Rick Castile and Nicholas Johansson, who are the partners here at XR for Work. We'd love to see you join any of those channels and look to engage you in discussing XR for Work. And so we're going to jump in now and start talking about Wanda VR Spaces, what they call an immersive storytelling platform. And I think as we proceed through the presentation, you'll get a sense of why it's called that. From their website, you can see that they specialize or focus on training, learning, onboarding, and internal communications using role-playing virtual tours, immersive presentations, and 360 events that you can create using no code in their environment. So the platform is really geared towards educators and trainers, schools and higher ed, and the enterprise. And you'll hear a lot about, there's a whole section where Arnaud talks about how you can scale Wanda across multiple divisions and teams within an organization, and how each of those groups can share in authoring and utilizing tool sets and content for their unique specific needs. How you use it? Well, at the very basic level, you develop an experience in your hub in the web, in your browser, right? It's browser based, so there's no application footprint that's required on a desktop or any type of equipment. You add 360 photos, 360 videos, sound and text, 2D videos, cards, quizzes, and feedback tools so that you can track responses and track how your team members or your students are doing as they go through the experience. And then you can display and sequence the experience using navigations, timings, and triggers that you build in, much like you would with animations or transitions in a PowerPoint. And then you set the experience for single user or multi-user. So if you're going to set this experience for a single user who's doing an onboarding to your organization, or if you're going to take a small team of 5 or 10 through an experience, where you can lead them, you can all be in the same room and experience it together. And so with that, we're going to jump in and we're going to watch and listen as Arnaud takes us through one of the Wanda experiences that was created for Harvard University for their French students.
Create your own experience, your own presentation is really what we're here for. So it's no code and it's creative. That's I guess how we could define it. And it's open-ended also, right? I mean, the platform actually allows for various kind of various possibilities in terms of how you can use it. You can actually use it for what we call single player experiences, where you join the platform on your own, and so anyone can join the platform and then any experience on their own, and so they can so he or she can go at his or her own space. But also you can do multiplayer experiences like the one we are just doing right now. as of today, we can accommodate up to 25 people at once. So that's pretty good. And definitely looking to increase that number. But definitely, I would say the platform is really best for between 5 and 10 people. That's really where I would say we get the most out of it. There are other platforms. Yeah, yeah, and it's also a question of usability. And although I think I'm very proud of what we've done in terms of making things simple and intuitive to use. People need to get a little bit of time, and to manage like 25 people that come here for the first time is definitely it's definitely like it's a yeah, yeah. Cool. So like going on this looking at this screen. So this is actually the main display that you can use, that anyone can use to kind of like welcome users, but also like add links to any kind of experiences, including 360 experiences. So I'm actually going to be moving um, to the next scene. So right now I just pulled out the outline of my presentation that I created using Wonda VR Spaces. And just so here we lined up like a few extracts from 360 experiences that you can launch right from within the 3D environment. And actually, one of the one that the one that I wanted to show you today was so it's an extract from a language learning experience that was created by Harvard University Faculty of Science, and I thought it would be kind of interesting to demonstrate that project for many different reasons. One of them is that we actually just published a research paper on the project itself. It was co-written with Harvard University. Yeah, and the second one is that this is definitely like I think a very interesting example of how you can produce very authentic, interesting content with very little, like means and very little. So for this project, only like very consumer grade 360 camera have been used. It was, edited within Wanda by people who had no experience in 3D and Unity or whatever. So yeah, so what I'm going to do here, so I'm going to launch the experience, and what we will see is that everyone, like both of us, will be teleported into the experience all at once, right? So I'm going to launch it right now. Yep, yep. Um, Actually, no. This, this, if you want, I can. So this has been predefined, so that these links have been predefined. Actually, you can also be in control. I mean, you have presenter rights. Yeah, you should see the command. So everything so it's in French as for the interface, because it was actually made for Harvard University undergraduate students to learn French and be immersed into the French culture. And as you can see right now, you can actually interact with the button, right? And so if you want, you can hit the yeah, that shows that it's actually interactive. And so if you just want to commencer, which means start, that shows. So here we are in the very like homemade a menu that was created for the project. So it's basically just a one, like a lobby for the project for students to choose which character they want to follow during this journey. So 4 characters were chosen by the university. They were non-filmmakers, and they were trained for 1 hour to document their life using 360 cameras, so that it would be then brought back to the students at Harvard, and so they could actually study the life and discuss and reflect on what it means actually to be a Parisian in 2020. So yeah, there is a small extract from Youssef, who is the 32-year-old character, so you can launch it.
Bonjour à tous, je suis Youssef, j'ai 32 ans, je suis réalisateur de films, j'habite à Paris depuis 2007. Donc l'appartement où je vis avec ma compagne Camille est dans le 11e arrondissement, rue Richard Lenoir. Ça doit être le 4.
So I just paused the video, and as you can see, we can actually synchronize and we can play, pause, and the content as we are, immersed and looking at it. So every character was introduced by, like this kind of poster sequence where the character would be able to kind of quickly introduce him or herself. And so I'm just going to skip this one to go to the next scene.
Pour commencer, je vais vous présenter l'appartement dans lequel on vit. Un appartement que je partage avec ma compagne, Camille. On vit ici depuis 2 ans. C'est au 3e étage du 10 rue Richard Lenoir. Une petite rue vraiment centrale dans le 11e arrondissement. Et,
Yeah.
et du coup,
You can hit this one.
vous pouvez voir que l'espace n'est pas très grand.
The simple
on peut vraiment dire que
transcript
Camille
of
est
what
spécialiste dans
Youssef is
l'aménagement
saying.
d'espace, et c'est vraiment grâce à elle que tout, on finit toujours par trouver une petite
Just
place.
a hotspot, hiding,
C'est
and
un endroit
playing
où on
a
travaille aussi
text
beaucoup.
image.
On est obligé d'optimiser
Something you
l'espace,
can
notre vie
really
quotidienne.
easily edit with Wanda. So I'm going to pause here. So this project was made of 2-minute uncut scenes that were narrated that really would get you into a typical week of each of the characters. And the whole idea was that for students to actually look around and then discuss about the details and everything they see in the picture with their fellow students and with their instructor, and really to practice the language by actually looking at what makes the French culture and the Parisian life on, cool. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And the other aspect of it, which I think is interesting regarding 360 cameras, is really that this is just a 360 camera that is actually basically sitting at just below us, right? If you and so the characters that actually were the filmmaker, right? They were filming themselves. We just put the 360 camera, at the center of a room, hit record, and then continue their daily life without worrying about it. And I guess that's something very interesting about 360 cameras, is that they are not invasive. There's no pointer, so you don't really know what the camera is shooting. So it makes people much more comfortable. And I would say that we got some very interesting authentic materials out of it without people needing to, you remember, I guess, the language content that you would get, where it would be feeling very fake and very overdone. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So just going to moving forward to the next scene. So just to show you a little bit, so that's another screen, and it was used for each character where you could actually so it's just a very like a stylized design menu. Yeah. So you could jump between sequences and stuff. So I'm going to go back to the menu. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back basically to the menu that we had before in the room. So now we should be back in the 3D environment, right? So very seamless. Everything has been synchronized all along. Everything that I saw, you could see. And we would still have the agency and be able to look around where we want to. I guess you noticed that you could see my pointer as well. And that is a feature that is so every presenter. So both of us have presenter rights now. So both of us can see each other pointer. But so that's one of key like very simple feature. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so for example, like this is like if you move forward a little bit, so this is an example. So this is we have a quiz module that you can add pretty much anywhere. You can add it in. Yeah, so you can add it within a 360 content, but also within the 3D environment like we are doing right now. And so the way it works is basically each of us can answer, each of these. So that's actually a survey, right? This is a quiz that is used as a survey. So you can just like score the different kind of component of this demonstration, for example. So yeah, 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 exactly. Exactly, and then you can assign, and I can show you afterwards, just afterwards, like in the editor, how it's done. But you can assign like a score to each responses. So if you do like a quick like a you add, you should see your score actually change on the scorecard that is above. Yeah. Um, so there's like a way you can use it as a scoring system, and you can also like provide these feedback messages on each responses. So I can show you, it's pretty powerful actually. You can go and use it actually for surveys as well as for quizzes. So you can say, no, this is a wrong answer, try again, or stuff like this. And this, and I guess, yeah, while we're talking about it, I should add that it's also one, I guess, one of the features that we have that is very powerful is that everything that is done within the 3D environment, within the 360 content, the things you interact with, the quizzes, everything is stored into using XAPI, which is a learning management system standard. So we can connect also all this data. Yeah.
Okay, we got to hear and see Arnaud take us through an actual experience that was created in Wanda, and you saw the use of 360 video and 360 photos and creation of menus and being able to move a user through an experience in a shared environment where there's multi-users. So Arnaud was there and I was there kind of in the same space at the same time, getting led through and hopefully reinforcing the learning that was taking place. Now we're going to have Arnaud talk to us about the scalability of Wanda and how you can use it across various departments and teams within an organization.
And businesses, they share the same need for multiple spaces, and really a space as at Wanda, for Wanda VR Spaces, a space is a team space. So that's basically a collaboration space where you can have multiple experiences just like this one. What we've seen in universities and businesses and enterprise is that in most cases you have like the HR department, you have a new hire like space, you have the finance department, marketing department. All these different departments have different needs and are using the platform for their different needs. And so they use spaces to actually gather different teams in this different environment, and so we can collaborate, share media, so we can use it in a very kind of collaborative way across departments. Yeah, yeah, yeah. To these departments and to these what we call spaces, so that are team spaces within the organization hub that has all the different spaces. And I'm going to show you that. And maybe I don't know how we're doing on time. Time flies in the air for sure. Okay, cool. Yeah. So that means that, for example, like when I'm pulling my media library, and for example, like actually just for the sake of showing it, so I'm going to pull in like actually a very, very small representation of this 3D room. I don't know if you can see that. It's an yeah. Yeah. So this kind of 3D object can be, and you can grab it with both of your hands if you want to expand it. Yeah. Yeah, got it. Got it. Yeah, really grab the 3D objects. Yeah, like here, like, and like with both of your hands. Okay, that should work. Um, but so, for example, the way the spaces work is that if I have this 3D room, for example, in my media library, and we belong to the same space, that means that when you're going to be pulling in your media library, you're going to be accessing as well my own media. so you can really share media across, the space.
Okay. And so you get a sense that Wanda scales and is really almost designed for larger educational and enterprise organizations. Although again, the individual user can certainly utilize Wanda to develop platform and educational and immersive content to be used at any scale that might be required.
And businesses, they share the same need for.
So now let's take a look at some of the tools that Wanda has and have Arnaud walk us through actually putting together a presentation.
Okay, so I'm back. I'm back. So I joined from my desktop. So you can see actually that when joining from a desktop, I have the same avatar. I logged in with my same account, so I can just switch between both as I please. And so what I'm going to do now is actually share my screen on this. Yeah, let me. So you can see what I'm doing. Yeah. So you should see my screen now. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So so right now what I'm showing is how I join and edit any experiences with Wanda VR. I just went to spaces.wandavr.com. But so right now I'm in our company hub, right? The Wanda VR Spaces internal hub that we use for all our demonstration and stuff. So I go in one of the space, which is the space we use for all the demos that we do with our customers, but we share internally. So here we see one of them. So this is the VR for Work demo that we are in right now. So I'm just going to edit it to show you how it looks like. So it's loading. So the way it's basically just so you kind of connect the dots here. So any experience is made of one 3D environment, which I mentioned before. So that's actually this 3D environment we see like it's kind of a blank right now, which is the 3D environment, like the blank canvas that is provided by the 3D environment. I can change it anytime. So I can go and pick other 3D environment that I have in my media library. I can that are either imported or other that we provide as default templates. And then I have a presentation itself. So remember when you joined the room, there was like a welcome message, and so this is actually how it was done. So it's fully customizable. The way it works is that it's only drag and drop. I can edit the text. Exactly. And it's as we like to think about it as it is as easy to use as PowerPoint to edit all the content that is inside. Yeah. And so basically, if you wanted to see this exact same screen, you would just need to refresh the experience, and you could see it. The other thing that I can show you, so the menu that remember I showed you of all the 360 experiences is here. Again, these are just like images that has links that you can see at the bottom corner here, where you can. Yeah, you can show hide, any annotation within the same scene. You can play sound. You can also like add like automatic link, so that you can imagine like having an automatic transition from one scene to the other. There's a couple of things you can do that are pretty interesting. You can deal with the look where the user is going to be looking at when going from one scene to the other, if you want to make sure that they are actually facing the point of interest. So that are the kind of feature that we have. So again, this is really for everything that you prepare in advance for the presentation. The other feature that I showed you is a quiz. So you can see like how it's made. So you can easily like go and edit the quiz. You can set a score for each response. You can have like a feedback message as well, and you can also link to different scenes, depending on what the user actually answered. So it's pretty, you can play a lot. Actually, this is each scene. So we call it scene. So each scene can be made of one kind of master media. So a master media can be either an image, a video, a 360 still image, or a 360 video. So in this case, this scene was made of one still image, which is this one. I could put the background, and so it was made of one still image, and I can use whatever, like this one. And then I add a quiz module as an annotation. So this is actually just changing the background, right? And then the quiz is just like I can just add a quiz. So let me maybe show you on. Yeah. Yeah. So here, for example, is a exactly. So for example, here is a 360 scene. If I want to add, so remember this intro scene from the Larry project. If I want to add like a quiz, I would just do this. So this will add, like the quiz module right from within the. Yeah, I can, add a position in space. I can also like define whether I want it to appear right away when the scene starts, or if I want to delay the display of the the quiz module, and then I can just edit it, just. So we consider these as annotation. So you can add text annotation, photo annotation, video annotations on top of any scene, right? So that always works. So just right click and I can copy annotation and of course delete it. So you notice that here you can choose between the two modes. So the single player mode or the multiplayer mode. So the same link can have, can be both, either one or the other. The difference in this case, if this exact same link that I shared for this meeting was defined as single player mode, then you would have joined the room. You would have been able to do whatever you wanted in the room, but on your own, right? And if I had joined the same link, I would have been on my own as well, like you would do on any kind of asynchronous kind of experience. In the case of an experience you want to be together and you want to be synchronized, then you would want to use the multiplayer mode. So you can just launch and preview what you do. Yeah. In terms of sharing, that's an interesting one. So you can define whether you want to share an experience for everyone. So that's what I use for this experience. So you actually would be able to join even if you are not logged in. So that would be useful for, if you are like inviting customers or inviting like like leads or partners, or you could put it private so that only people who belong to your organization actually can access it. And we have an integration. We actually have a SSO support, so you can actually. Some of our enterprise customers have more than 3,000 employees that are logged into the platform. So it's just. Here you have a presenter link that you can share and the learning link. So that's another example. And yeah, and I guess just going around a little bit an overview of different features. So you can obviously define a poster image. You can decide whether you want to display an outline or a specific like default navigation. You can, and also like define if you want to add scoring, like if there is a passing score, if there is a completion scene. So these are some of the kind of exciting features that we provide. And yeah, and in the end, if you want to see the analytics of it, you can just go back to. So I'm going to go back to the space itself, where I list all the experiences. And that's where I can go and look at, you know, like all the different analytics from the WebXR. So this one is actually pretty crowded, so I'm not sure I'm going to use this one. Yeah. But yeah, it's going to take a, yeah, so this is an important one. So here is like what is going to be displaying here is the analytics from all the different experiences that belong to the space. So that's also a collaborative space, right? So only people who have access to this space can access the analytics, obviously. But that's also a way to share. So you don't have to be an administrator of the whole organization hub to have access to the analytics. So it's taking a while. So I think there are like more than 80 experiences in this space. So that's pretty. Maybe, yeah. If not, I'm going to move to the next. Yeah, exactly. Let me see if I can go and see if I can add. For some reason, if I can go and look for maybe a space that is a little bit. I'm gonna maybe less crowded. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, for example, like this one. So it's simple. So I should show that. Yeah. So very. Here we go. So and then I can go into the details of each experience, right? So that's what I'm going to do right now. So again, it's loading. And so here what I can see is not only like the traffic based on dates, what all, yeah, where people are coming from, but also I can go into the detailed sessions. So basically I can see what anyone has been doing within each session. So in the case of someone anonymous, like for example, in your case, you are a guest, so you would be displayed as anonymous. But if I was to look at someone in particular, I would have all the, you know, like what happened, what did they interacted with, what scenes they've been looking at, what quiz they answered. So everything is logged into what we call a learning record score, record store, sorry, where all the information about behavior is logged. So just to give you an idea, this is definitely a work in progress, but it's pretty powerful already.
Okay, well, there you have it. That was brought to us directly by the CEO of Wanda himself, Arnaud Dresson. Here you can see the pricing. You can jump on and get a free account yourself today and give Wanda a spin and try it out. If you decided to move ahead, you can have up to 50 users at $350 US a month. And that's for 50 developers, 50 folks in there creating experiences. And then if you want to go beyond 50 and add on some of the additional features that come with the platform, such as single sign-on or some of their add-ons, you can certainly reach out to the Wanda team and talk to them more in depth about that. And so what do we think about Wanda? Well, it is a premier platform for creating experiences for training and education. Without a doubt, it's got a fantastic web-based, no-code platform and interface. You can ramp up, get productive, and be very efficient quickly just through some handy tutorials. You know, you've gotten the flow and the ergonomics of training or being with your users in VR. And then it has that multi-user element so that you can be in the social experience or collaborate with others as you're building things. And the ROI, well, I'll leave that to you to decide. These days, I think, especially with distance learning and distance teams, it is definitely something that we need to look at more closely and factor into our budgets. So we hope you've enjoyed this session of VR for Work. We hope the presentation was valuable and you learned more about Wanda. We hope you'll give them a look and that you'll continue to turn into XR for Work for more information about spatial computing and immersive platforms for business and professionals. Thanks very much for joining us, and we'll see you in the metaverse. Bye now.